Bill O'Reilly here, Friday, December 4th, 2020. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update. Here's what's happening today in America. There are now more than 65 million cases of COVID in at least 120 different countries around the globe. The contagion has killed 1.5 million people, including 273,000 here in the USA. But an end to the global pandemic could happen within months. At least 3 COVID vaccines, as you know, are currently in production. Each is more than 90% effective, according to researchers. The medicine developed by Pfizer was approved by the British government this week, making the UK the first Western country to give the green light to a COVID vaccine. Authorities in London confirm that the treatment will be available within a week, and that nursing home residents and workers in those homes would get the vaccinations first. Here in the USA, the CDC issued new guidelines about who's going to get the shots first up. An independent panel told the Centers for Disease Control in Atlanta that residents and employees of nursing homes and similar facilities should be the first people to get the vaccine, along with healthcare workers who are at risk because they are treating COVID patients, and that needs to be addressed immediately. The medication would then be administered to frontline workers like EMT people and senior citizens and those who are ill with diabetes and obesity, things like that. Health experts say the first doses here in America could be given to patients by Christmas, with the rest of the population getting the drug in early 2021. Pfizer and Moderna are already in production and believe the companies will deliver nearly 25 million vaccinations by New Year's Day. That is amazing. State and local governments are considering how folks will get the vaccines. The governors are in charge, not the president. Different options may include a stamp on your driver's license, attachment to your passport, or a card that shows you have been vaccinated. That policy will unfold shortly, and we will have it here on the O'Reilly Update. In the meantime, please listen to me. Be very, very cautious in what you do. Coming up, the message of the day, listeners, sound off. Back after this. Investors, are you seeking steady cash flow, ready to diversify? Have you considered a proven real estate investment fund? NRIA is one of the nation's leading realty specialists and offers 10% annualized monthly payouts, with bonuses targeted to 21%. That's right, you could receive steady 10% return monthly payments with bonuses. You know, they specialize in realty investing done right. Even use your 401k or IRA to invest. NRIA's 15-year track record and $1.2 billion in new construction development backs you. So learn how you can invest in this hard asset real estate cash flow fund today and receive 10% annualized monthly payouts with bonuses. This is something savvy investors should research and consider. Please call now, 201-210-2727, 201-210-2727, or visit nria.net.
An offer to buy or sell any security is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. National is a real estate development firm. See us at nria.net.
Time now for the O'Reilly Update message of the day. Listeners, sound off. We do this every Friday. You can reach me, Bill at BillO'Reilly.com, Bill at BillO'Reilly.com. Let's begin with Adele in Minot, North Dakota. Bill, you've said many times that the only way to stop the apparent fraud with the election is for someone to hire a reputable, apolitical analytics company to determine the real odds of Joe Biden winning at various times on Election Day, so that the apparent fraud will be exposed. But you have not said a word about who might do that. Okay, Adele, what has to happen for the American people to be convinced that there was fraud in this election on a scale that tilted the votes toward Joe Biden? What has to happen is that math stats have to be presented. I'll give you a vivid example. In Detroit, an analytics company would go in, a private company hired by a political action committee, a Republican committee, who that has money to do this. And they would say the percentage of voters in Detroit mailing in ballots for Joe Biden was 94% or whatever. Then they would compare it to, say, Grand Rapids. The percentage of mail-in votes by African Americans for Joe Biden in Grand Rapids was this percent. I can almost guarantee you Detroit's going to be much higher. You do that in Philadelphia, in Milwaukee, in Atlanta, in Las Vegas, and you're going to find what they call anomalies. And that is the way you convince people of the fraud. William is in Captiva, Florida. Excellent place. I am so depressed, William says. You acknowledge all the fraud in the election and that no one is investigating it. So Joe Biden will be president. Nothing will ever happen with Hunter Biden. All of this and more, and yet you say we still live in a great country. Tell me why. Because America still offers the most opportunity to the most people on the planet, which is why millions of people have sneaked in here. That has not changed. Opportunity abounds in America. And once the vaccine kicks in, we'll be back into high gear. But this election was not conducted the way it should have been. Dave is in New Zealand, listening on the internet to the O'Reilly Update. How can American citizens worried about the apparent corruption in voting for president set to work to get a fair, clear, and operative system? Congress has to do it. Has to pass a law called the Fair Election Standards Act. And then states are going to have to obey certain rules. That's the only way, Dave, this can happen. Mike is in Charlotte. Are you fine with anti-vaccine messages posted everywhere, including on the highways? I'm fine with freedom of speech, Mike. If you want to put up an anti-vaccine message, I don't have a problem with that. I'd never tell anybody you have to get vaccinated for anything. I'll be first in line for the COVID vaccine. I want to protect myself, my family, and other people with whom I associate. I'm Bill O'Reilly, and I approve that message by putting it together in a moment, something you might not know. Hey, I got a crash course into home title theft because one of my friends experienced it, and I hope you are praying this never happens to you because it can ruin you financially. Here's how the crime happens. The legal titles to our homes are kept online where they can be hacked. A cyber thief can find your home's title, forge your signature on a quit claim deed stating you sold your home to him or her. Then the thief takes out loans against your home until your equity is gone. You won't even know until the collection company calls, pour in. You're not protected by insurance, your bank, or common identity theft programs. Home Title Lock does protect you. And in the unlikely event you become a victim of title theft while a member, Home Title Lock will spend up to $250,000 in legal fees to help restore your home's title. So please go to HometitleLock.com, register your address to see if you're already a victim. Then use code RADIO for 30 free days of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com. Now, the O'Reilly Update brings you something you might not know. The Christmas season has created some of the greatest Hollywood films of all time. Movies like Miracle on 34th Street, It's a Wonderful Life, and Home Alone. But Santa's Big Day has also spawned a few flops over the years. Here are the worst Christmas movies of all time, ranked by entertainment website Rotten Tomatoes. First, Jingle All the Way. The movie features an irate Arnold Schwarzenegger spending 2 hours trying to track down the season's hottest toy. One reviewer described the movie as Arnold Terminates Christmas. Next, Jack Frost. Michael Keaton stars as a father who dies in a horrific car accident, then comes back to life as a snowman. The tagline, Snow Dad is better than no dad. Not sure that's true. in Jack Frost. Abysmal. Fred Claus, also near the top of the worst list. Vince Vaughn plays the unhappy brother to Santa Claus, who gets roped into the family business. According to Rotten Tomatoes, the movie is, quote, less ho 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 and more no no no. Number 2, worst Christmas movie, goes to Deck the Halls. Actors Danny DeVito and Matthew Broderick spar over who can place more Christmas lights on their homes. DeVito's goal is for astronauts to be able to see his house from space. Variety says the movie is a, quote, horrific experience. Finally, the worst holiday movie ever, Black Christmas, the 1974 slasher film. Features a killer dressed as Santa, dispatching a dozen college students at a sorority house. The feature was panned by critics upon its release, of course, but is now watched by some universities across the country before the Christmas recess begins. Hey, you kids, get to class. And here's something else you might not know. The Christmas movie industry is one of the biggest markets in the world. At least 15 channels in America play nonstop holiday films, most of them horrendous. Back after this. How bad is your back, knee, or neck pain? Mine was pretty bad. I played 4 sports when I was younger, and it's catching up with me now. I tried a lot of stuff to manage the pain. Ointments, pain relievers, fish oil, nothing worked. So a doctor friend of mine recommended Omega XL, and here's why. The underlying cause of painful, achy joints and muscles is inflammation. The key to knock down inflammation before it causes damage is backed by 35 years of research, and that's what Omega XL does. The doctor also says, quote, I can't write any prescription that comes close to what Omega XL accomplishes. She was right. So if you're suffering with painful, achy joints and muscles, stop wasting money and switch to Omega XL. Order Omega XL now and get a second bottle free. Visit OmegaXL.com/Bill, OmegaXL.com/Bill, or you can call 800-844-4888, 800-844-4888. Thank you for listening to the O'Reilly Update. I am Bill O'Reilly. No spin, just facts, and always looking out for you.